All right, welcome to episode number 2 of the Heated Sports Podcast.
Yeah, this is number 2. I'm Adam Rice.
I'm
joined
Calvin
by.
DeLube.
All right, let's get started. First topic for today: Giants versus Panthers. Went really well for the Giants.
Yeah, but I still think that the Giants, I mean, they definitely did play well against the Panthers. I'm going to give them that. You know, they had 6 sacks, an interception, a safety, 65 total tackles, and only 3 points allowed. Like that, you know, that really is a good defensive day when you see it. And Sam Darnold did play pretty well at the start of the year, but just the past 3 weeks, he's just not been looking good.
Downfall.
So,
3 losses. They're on a losing streak, right?
Yeah, no, they started off 3-0, now they're 3-4.
Yep.
Same with the Broncos right now. They both started off 3-0 and then lost 4 games in a row. And the Panthers blew an ugly game to the Eagles where they had, I think they were up 17 points at one point and then blew that one.
Yeah.
And then, they had to put in their backup quarterback because Sam Darnold was playing so bad on Sunday.
Do you think it's because McCaffrey's not there that explosive running back is just not there, that they can't get enough points, or the offense isn't as explosive as they used to be?
Yeah, no, that's definitely a huge factor. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is just an amazing football player, and no matter what team he's on, when he's not on the field, it's going to be an impact. And the Panthers haven't had Christian McCaffrey for quite a long time now. He hasn't been playing a lot of games recently due to injury.
Yeah.
But you can just tell it's a whole different Panthers team when he's playing. And I mean, they almost beat the Chiefs.
You're listening to 94.5 WERB in Berlin.
Sorry about that.
A little interruption. It's fine. We got some nice classical jazz music in the background, to go along with their podcast. That was totally planned.
Yeah, totally meant for that to happen there.
We talked about the collapsing of the Panthers and the Broncos. Let's talk about your Seahawks. They had a okay game.
Ugly. No.
Not even okay.
I mean, if you're considering defense, I thought the defense played it really, really, really well.
I thought that
only
as well,
allowing
but
13 points. I mean, especially against a guy like Alvin Kamara, who's just an amazing athlete. And Jameis Winston,
running back as well.
He's not even playing bad right now. Jameis Winston he's definitely not the 30-30 Jameis Winston that we saw a few years ago, and he's a lot better. I still don't think that he's an amazing quarterback, but he's definitely a lot better. You saw against the Washington team, I thought the first 2 drives really showed the Jameis Winston experience perfectly. First drive, threw an interception, ugly interception, and an overthrown pass. Next drive, first play of the drive, 74-yard touchdown. Mm-hmm. So I thought that drive so accurately showed the Jameis Winston experience.
Drew Brees, just handed off the torch to a decent quarterback, and the Saints aren't doing bad this year.
They're definitely playing well. I mean, other than that, a few games here and there, like the loss of the Giants, But they do look.
OT too. Oh, yeah. I love that game. That game was so fun. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time.
No. OT games for your team to win, they're always a blast. But Geno Smith is so bad. Like, he's just awful.
Worse than Daniel Jones?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He's awful.
Okay.
I mean, his pocket awareness is just atrocious. It was awful to watch last night. The Saints D coming into that game had 8 sacks all year, and they got 5 last night.
Wow.
It's just like he has no idea what he's doing in the pocket, and all 5 of those sacks weren't even the offensive line's fault. That was just Geno Smith not knowing what to do with himself.
I literally saw one of the plays. I watched it on and off, but I saw one of the plays where he was getting some pressure and he started running backwards. As a QB, you never run backwards because you can get hit from behind. And it could be terrible. And then he tripped over himself and fell.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to try and scramble backwards like that, you have to be 150% sure that you're going to be able to get out of it. And a lot of times, I mean, Russell Wilson, his pocket awareness isn't exactly perfect. That's definitely one of his weakest aspects to the game. And he takes a lot of sacks, and sometimes it's the offensive line's fault, but sometimes it's his fault trying to make an extended play where instead of just throwing it away and then taking a big sack. But Geno Smith is 10 times worse than Russell Wilson in terms of pocket awareness. But and also Pete Carroll, I've really had mixed feelings about Pete Carroll for the past few years because he's been an amazing coach for his first few years in Seattle, with the LOB and Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch and Doug Baldwin and all those guys. And then when you saw, the Legion of Boom kind of separate, you really saw Pete Carroll's true colors, and he is an awful head coach. Like, he's just bad at his job. He even admitted, he said in the interview, he says, I've been the Seattle Seahawks head coach for a long time, and without Russell Wilson, I probably wouldn't have been for a long time. Like, he straight up admitted that he wouldn't have had his job for the amount of time that he's had it if it weren't for Russell Wilson.
Mind you, this is coming from a Seahawks fan, so
yeah.
you know it's bad when it's coming from a Seahawks fan.
Yeah, but the defense played well, and another game where I just feel like if Russell Wilson was playing, it could have been, maybe it wouldn't have been like a blowout, but it definitely could have been a commanding win.
Oh, it totally would.
Where,
totally
if we knew the offense was playing consistent and the defense was playing well, making stops, then I think the Seahawks could have won that game and the Steelers game convincingly if Russell Wilson was playing.
It was a close game, but all the other games on Sunday were just blowouts.
Yeah, they were bad.
It was terrible.
We saw some really bad games this Sunday, but one game that I really kind of want to point out is the Bengals game.
Oh,
and
beating the Ravens?
Yeah,
really?
we saw Joe Burrow play some amazing football.
Jamar Chase? Oh, my goodness.
Jamar Chase, he's having an astounding season. He was struggling in the preseason too. You really didn't see a lot of action from him, and people were getting worried that maybe this guy would have been a bust. Maybe they should have taken Penei Sewell to protect Joe Burrow, and it looks like Jamar Chase was the right choice.
Jamar Chase had 201 yards, receiving 8 catches at the Ravens game.
Wow,
that is
I didn't realize it was that much. And 8 catches too. That's crazy, dude.
And then Joe Burrow had 60.5% completion rate, which is above 50, which is
oh
really
yeah,
good
no,
for a
it's
QB.
definitely not perfect, but it's pretty darn good, especially against a defense like the Ravens.
It's so hard to get a perfect score for QBs.
Oh yeah.
416 yards.
Wow.
Jeez.
Joe Burrow, I mean, he is having a really good year, and even some players on the Packers, and we know the Packers are a good team. Aaron Rodgers is a great player, and they got a good defense behind it.
Yeah.
And even they were admitting that this Bengals team is not the same Bengals team that we've been seeing.
It's totally not.
We are seeing a new Bengals team with with some amazing weapons and some amazing skill. Yep. And I still think that the Ravens are going to take the division, or even the Browns. But I think the Bengals are definitely going to be dangerous when it comes to playoff time because they're going to get a wild card, and they'll probably get past the first round.
Yeah. Well, to add to Joe Burrow's stats, he had 3 touchdowns and only 1 interception. Like,
yeah, he had a good day, man.
He had a great day.
And Lamar Jackson was, he just that Ravens offense looked deflated. Really, the entire game.
I didn't see the stats of Lamar Jackson during that game, but. They did not. They only put up like 20 points, was it?
I think it was 17. I think the final score was like 41-17, I think was the final score.
So he had 0 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 257 yards, and completion percentage was 48.4.
Yeah.
So not the greatest, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel Jones, I think, only threw for 203 yards against, what was it? The
Panthers?
Panthers, yeah.
Yeah.
Only 203 yards. So that's a lot more than Daniel Jones threw against the Panthers. The 3 to 20. Jeez, I can't even remember the
Was that
score.
Stephon Gilmore's first game? I think that was his first game.
It might have been. I don't remember seeing him on the field.
I think that was his first game playing with the Panthers. But I mean, he definitely isn't the impact that I think people thought he was because with that defense allowing 25 points, maybe that wasn't his fault. But people were expecting a whole different turnaround with a veteran leadership like him, and we did not see it in the first game.
But it's not the football's not a one person.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not a one person sport.
There's mistakes that the entire team. If one person doesn't do their job, the team's not going to succeed. It's just plain and simple like that. It's not like soccer or baseball where you have one outstanding player that can, carry. No, I don't want to say carry, but carry some team to, potentially a playoffs.
Yeah.
Football, it's not like that. It's the entire team. They all have to, chemistry-wise has to be good. They all have to do their jobs as individuals on the field. It's a hard sport to play.
Yeah, but another hard sport to play, you said, was baseball, and tonight is Game 1 of the World Series. Astros versus Braves.
Who would have thought that the Astros were gonna make it? They just proved to themselves, they don't need cheating.
They've been having a pretty good year. I never thought that they were gonna make it this far. I honestly thought that they weren't even gonna make the playoffs at one point, and then they made the playoffs and they kicked tail.
They did.
They just look really, really convincing. So, Astros proving to the world that they don't have to cheat, like you said. But the Braves are looking for their first World Series since 1999, and I think they made it. They made it pretty deep in the playoffs throughout the entirety of the 90s, and they only won in 1999. So they had a great team that entire time, but only were able to win one championship series. And the city of Atlanta really needs a championship right now. You've been seeing, 28-3. That was awful. Yeah. And the Braves haven't been playing amazing for the past few years, but now they're back in the World Series.
Oh, yeah.
And against the Astros. What are you thinking for the series? Who do you think's going to win it?
Well, I saw a depth chart today, and the entire U.S. or the United States is covered with, Brave supporters because
Oh yeah, because
it's just that Houston is just the only little dot I saw that's rooting for the Astros, and I know from my point of view that I want the Braves to win.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely want the Braves to win.
Braves to win.
So, do you think the Braves are going to win?
It's close. I haven't seen very many games of both the Braves and the Astros, but I think the Braves could pull it off. That's just me.
I really want to agree with you, but I feel like the Astros are going to take it home. I'm definitely going to root for the Braves, but I think the Astros will win it in Game 6. I don't know. I think that they really just want to prove the world wrong. They want to show the world that they don't need cheating to win, and they've been taking so much criticism for the past few years. I think they have a massive chip on their shoulder, and they want to go prove the world wrong. So
when you have a chip on your shoulder like that, you want to come back and succeed.
Yeah, and Altuve is one of the best postseason performers of all time.
One
of
my favorite baseball players.
Yeah, Jose Altuve for any short guys looking to make a baseball career. I mean, how tall is he? He's like 5'8" or something like that.
I have no clue how tall he is.
He's definitely he is a monster.
Let's see how tall he is. He is 5'6". So
wow,
I'm even taller than him.
That is so much shorter than I thought. 5'6".
5'6", yeah. And I really want to see a picture from the comparison from him to Aaron Judge being an absolute beast.
Oh yeah,
6'7", like I don't know how 282 or something like that. A huge person.
Oh yeah, but we were talking about how well he performs in the playoffs, and he's ranked third all time in home runs in the postseason with 21. Only players ahead of him are Bernie Williams with 22 and Manny Ramirez with 29. And Altuve still got a lot of years left, and with a full series ahead of him, I think he could definitely break that record and get to number 1.
Oh, he totally could.
Oh yeah, I mean, in the rest of his career, he could definitely. I see him going to the playoffs a few more times before his career is over.
Yep. I think we had one more topic to talk about. This Deshaun Watson race.
Yeah, the Deshaun Watson.
To get off baseball,
That is an interesting
story.
Yeah, so, I don't think we should go in depth on the full story, but right now, Texans, he wants out of the Texans, and the Texans want multiple players and first-round picks for him. And right now, they say that the Dolphins had the leading offer, but I've heard that the Panthers and the Eagles are entering the Deshaun Watson.
Who do you think is going to get him or want him that badly?
The Dolphins probably. I think that the Panthers. Oh, honestly, you know what? Actually, I'm going with the Panthers because I think I think the Panthers have more to trade than the Dolphins, and because Houston does not want Tua, and that's why I've been hearing that there's a 3-way possible trade where Tua, ends up in Washington, and I think that the Panthers have more to offer, and I think if he ends up anywhere, I'll be with the Panthers.
Well, that concludes it for today's episode.
Yep.
Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.